call this meeting to order. Ms. Goodell?
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Ms. Gill?
Here.
Ms. Litton? Here. Mr. Rector?
Here.
Ms. Russell? Here. And Mr. Webb?
Here.
Thank you.
Great. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We're saying the pledge.
I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great.
I'm hoping Lawrence was doing that somewhere on the corner.
I'd seek a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Thank you, Mr. Riding. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Litton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you. Sorry. I'm pulling up my agenda so I can get the next part. The remote, did someone have that out, the remote participation? Next item, item 2.05 on the agenda, remote participation. Someone? Do you have it?
I move that the school board approve the remote participation of school board member Lawrence Webb under policy BDD.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Webb. You are now joined to our meeting. First item on the agenda is 3.01, the appointment of our new Chief Academic Officer.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here in our new work session room. And we're trying out the technology tonight, so everything seems to be working pretty much except the phone. So thank you for joining us, Mr. Webb, on my cell phone. All right. Tonight is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you the Falls Church City Public Schools selection as the next Chief Academic Officer. That person is William Bates. Before I introduce William even more, let me just tell you a little bit about the process in case there are members of the community who are interested. We did do a national search. We had over 20 highly qualified applicants for the position. We narrowed the field to 8 finalists, and those 8 finalists were interviewed by a panel, and then 2 members, 2 people who were interviewed came forward as the finalists, and in those final interviews, William rose to the top and was the clear choice as our new Chief Academic Officer. Let me tell you just a little bit about William. I've had the privilege of knowing William for quite a while, actually, but I won't get into that because right now he's currently serving as the Executive Director for Secondary Schools in Baltimore County Public Schools. In that particular role, he observes and evaluates over 20 principals in the East Zone, which is the zone that he's responsible for. Those positions once were called assistant superintendents and then were changed the title, but essentially the Executive Director of Secondary Schools is the equivalent of an assistant superintendent in Baltimore County. And prior to that, he was the Director of School Performance, also in Baltimore County, where he has served since 2016. Before Mr. Bates was in Baltimore County, he was principal at Herndon High School in Fairfax County. And while at Herndon for his 7 years there, was able to do amazing work to the extent that he was named as Principal of the Year in Fairfax County, which is a huge honor. And having been part of Fairfax County for many years, understanding the process and the rigor that he went through to get to that place is pretty amazing. William, prior to that, has served as an assistant principal and was a teacher for many years. His background is in special education. He got his first degree in therapeutic recreation from Slippery Rock University. After that, he went back to school, got his master's in special education at California University in Pittsburgh, and then went on and got his administrative endorsement at George Mason University. I couldn't be more pleased that William has made the decision to come back to Virginia and join us here in the City of Falls Church. And it is with great excitement that I present to you for your approval William Bates as our next Chief Academic Officer.
Thank you, Peter, for that great introduction. Any questions or comments from the board, and then we'll
Take a vote and then we'll hear from them.
Then we'll, yes, okay, well, so I would, do I need to, someone make a motion to approve the appointment of our new Chief Academic Officer?
I move that the school board approve the appointment of William Bates as the Chief Academic Officer for Falls Church City Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Liddon. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Okay, abstain, opposed. Seeing none, welcome. So, tell us a little about yourself.
I know you want to get out of here, so I won't spend too much time talking about myself. First of all, I just want to say, thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for Dr. Noonan for that wonderful introduction. He really knows how to make a person sound good, and so I appreciate that. I'm truly humbled and honored to be able to serve as the next Chief Academic Officer for the Falls Church City Public Schools. I shared earlier today, I don't have a whole lot to say as far as speeches, prepared speeches and things like that, because more than talking about myself, I'm more interested in getting to know each and every one of you and our students and our staff here. But just a little bit about me. I've had a long, what I would say is a long career in education. 17 years was spent in Virginia, in Northern Virginia, in Fairfax County. And so the unique opportunity that provided me was to allow me to closely watch and monitor the work that was happening in neighboring school systems. That in Fairfax, we would often benchmark the work and the success of our schools to that of neighboring school systems. And so I always knew the great work that was happening in this school system. I had an understanding that the things that our teachers and staff are doing here and have been doing here have been working and working at a high level. And so I'm excited to come in and be a steward of that work and partner with our school staff and work alongside you all to continue to give students what they need and support them in helping them meet and reach their greatest aspirations and dreams. I asked a little earlier today if I could be a little vulnerable and expose myself just a little bit so you all could get to know me. Because, again, there's a lot of things that I've accomplished that I'm proud of, and there's a number of things that you may see on my resume as far as titles and things like that are concerned that look good on paper, but it's important that you know who I am as a person, because we're in the people business, we're in the kid business. And so if we don't get or take those opportunities to know each other, what motivates us, what inspires us, then there's always going to be a barrier to the work that we need to do together. So William Bates is a first-generation college student who was born and raised in Pittsburgh. My parents spent 40-plus years working blue-collar jobs. My grandparents, of the four of them, none of them graduated high school. But education was always held in high regard in our family. And so why do I share that? I share that because although I know I'm stepping into this chief academic officer position, and with that comes a title and some authority, what I'm most inspired about is the opportunity to be a voice for children and to be an advocate for children. One of the things I've always prided myself on was being a voice for the voiceless, and I've shared a little bit with a couple of you in sidebar conversations is that I know we're doing things well here. I know we have talented principals and staff and leadership. And the good thing about the situation we're in currently is that we might be afforded the opportunity to look at things that are happening above and beyond the academics in Falls Church City Public Schools. And so as we have that 99 or 100% graduation rate, the questions I have coming in is, are we taking the time to get to know each and every one of our students and know their stories and have a keen understanding of what their experience is like going through a K through 12 continuum in Falls Church City Public Schools. And what are we doing collectively together to make sure that every student has the highest quality teacher providing rigorous academic and instruction to every student in every classroom. And it's humbling to me to know that I can have a voice in that, and I could come to the table and exercise some decision-making ability over some of these things that I know are going to have a profound impact on the lives of children. So I'm going to take a step back and take an opportunity to, again, interface with you all and have a chance to get to know you all. But just, again, whether you're reviewing my resume, whether you're Googling my name and looking for, things that I've done or things that I've accomplished, I openly invite you to get to know William Bates as the person. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. We really look forward to getting to know you and having you as part of our division. Any other comments from the board?
Welcome aboard.
Great. And if there's nothing else?
There isn't anything else before the board, except I did have one just sort of business item of an announcement more than anything, and that is that we are going to forego the work session in July, which is July 16th. Last year, we took off a work session in August. We'll have the work session in August this year and instead skip the work session in July. There just isn't enough meat to cover right at that point, and we're also going to have several people out of town. So we will not have the work session on the 16th, but we will have the 13th. We'll start with the 9th, the regular meeting, and that will be in City Hall chambers, the newly minted City Hall chambers. We'll be back to City Hall on the 13th of August, and then we'll be in here on the conference room Thursday, August 22nd, and we're negotiating a time right now, or not negotiating, we're discussing a time. There's not a strong negotiation here. We're trying to figure out what time we'll start that day, because we will probably work in the potential board retreat as well. So just wanted to make sure you all knew that in advance. That's it for me.
Great. Thanks, Peter. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.
All right.
And just in time, just tell us the budget.